Hey Vivian, I thought this would be the fastest way for us to take a look at Google Drive together. And I have to say that I was confused by how it worked in the beginning. I didn't really understand their terminology. Now it seems silly to me that when I do understand it, why I was confused, but I just remember being confused. I think the key for me is that the person that you want to share things with, not allow them to just view, but actually share things with, they have to have a Google account for you to share with them. So I think that's the problem that stopped me in the beginning. But let's take a fast look at it. I'm in Firefox, so I think that's where you usually start. So let's start from there. I'll try to turn on Google Drive. So of course it defaults to my personal Google Drive, and I'm going to go ahead and change that over to the LWV account Google Drive, so we're where we need to be. Okay, so for you have the password for the Google Drive for the league, so you can get in here and see everything that you need. So there really wasn't any need for me to share this communications committee folder with you the other day. I did it so that you would get some sort of notice that I had shared it. I can't share it with an iname.com address, though. It has to be a gmail.com address. So the person has to have a Google account to share. So let's just talk about the difference between share and link. So here's Communications Committee. You can tell that it's either shared or there's a link to it, because you can see a little person on the icon, unlike this one up here, which you've got to be logged in as LWVPBA to see it. Okay, so inside Communications Committee, there's these three folders, and they've been shared too. And the reason they've been shared is if you share the folder on the level above them, what's underneath them, so parent to child, let's say, if you share the parent folder, the child folder and everything in it will also be shared. Okay, so I could have just given Hillary the overall email to our Google Drive, but I thought this is easier. You don't get a bunch of folders that you don't know what they are and you've got to hunt through them. Now she can easily see it. Okay, so that's how that works. Let me back up though one more time. So to share this folder with them, I'm going to right click and hit share. I've got two possibilities. I've got share or I've got get link. I wanted share because they both had Google accounts. And so when they log into their own personal Google accounts, what they're going to do is hit this shared with me option over to the left, and they're going to see all the files and folders that have been shared with them by different entities. Just like in the LWV PBA, we can see all the things that have been shared by Blake Sutherland and, you know, all kinds of different people. Okay? So that's why I did it the shared way. Now, for you, what does that mean? Let me go back to my drive where I can see everything. Okay, for you, when you want to add something for all of us to see, you just open this Communications Committee folder from the LWV PBA account, and you just add whatever you want. Okay, because you're already logged in at the top. Okay, so you can add a new folder here. You can upload a folder, you can add a file, whatever you want to do. Let's just add a folder so that you can see. I'll just call it test. You can see that the little icon pops up on it and you know that it's shared with them. You can check that by right clicking on it and saying share, and you can see all the people that it's already shared with, and then you could add somebody. So this is what I'll do when I find out if Mary Farrow and the other folks all have Google Drive accounts, Google accounts, Gmail accounts, so that I can add them. Otherwise, we can't really make it work. So we're going to have to ask them to get Google accounts. The younger people have no problem with that. The older people, you're already using, bellsouth.net or whatever. Why do you want another Gmail? But I think once they get it, they'll see that there's a lot that it can do and make easier for you. Okay? So it'll be easy for you to add things. You just log in to Google Drive like you always do and add stuff to the communications folder. So if I go back over to Susie Lynch, that's me, right? If I go back over to Susie Lynch, actually I didn't share it with Susie Lynch. I shared it with another account. Let me put in my other alter ego. Let's see if she's here. Here she is. I've got too many alter egos. If I do this ML Winter 88 one, and I look at what ML Winter 88 has on her Google Drive, it's not very much, okay? But if I hit shared with me, I have the communications folder, and it looks different because it's on some other kind of grid or something rather than list. So here's what somebody shared with me. It's the only thing I've got. All right, so I can open this and I can see all the things that are inside of it. So the shared with me is really a great feature. So let me go back to LWV. You can see why some days I'm not very clear. I have to keep switching back and forth. I have to remember who I am, right? So now that I'm back to LWV, I'll go back to my drive where we can see everything. Another option, possibility that you can explore here is instead of share, you just want to get a link so they can view it. So that's what I did with the board meetings folder. And I struggled with this and struggled with it, but I realized it was going to be easier to do link than to get everybody to get a Gmail account. People like Ellen were going to be confused and annoyed, and I just wanted to make it easy. So the board meetings account, what I did there, instead of sharing it, I said get a link. And here's a link that I get that I can copy. I shared this with people that I knew already had a Gmail account, but I started that and then I realized this is silly. Just get the link, make a button on our webpage that will open that folder on Google Drive for anybody with the link. And so it tells you right here, anyone on the internet with this link can edit it. Okay, well, what I did was I put this on a protected page that's password protected rather on our website, so I wasn't worried about putting anybody with the link. And then I believe I changed it from editor to, I think I changed it to maybe commenter, and so people can see all the files in there. They can download the files. They can make comments on the files. In other words, they can open, let's say, a Word document. They can open a Word document that's there, and it will open in, I forget what it's called, Google Documents or Google, whatever the word processing program is for Google. They can open it and make comments, but they can download the files. So that's why I did it that way. I thought it would be less confusing since I was going to password protect the page anyway. So now people can just hit the button. All they can see when they hit the button is just this board meeting folder, and they can get to all the things inside of it. Again, you can see the little people on it. They can get access to all these folders and get whatever it is that they need. Okay, so that's the difference between share and get a link. So get a link, they can't upload. So you can't upload to the board meetings folder unless you have a Gmail account, a Google account, and you know how to upload. Jane knows how to upload now. Karen McGrath knows how to upload now. Charlisle did know how to upload. She says she's forgotten, but if she looks at the how-to video that I made her, she'll remember how to do it. So I thought people that wanted to do it, I would make it accessible that way for them to start experimenting with it. And then when we got back face to face, I could maybe take a few minutes at a board meeting where everybody can say, you know, well, wait, let me ask you, you know, on mine it doesn't look like that or whatever, and hopefully I'd be able to answer all those questions. So that way they can only upload and download, but they can't like delete a file. So I thought that was safer, so somebody didn't do something by mistake, you know, definitely by mistake, not on purpose. And then we wouldn't have to fix it at the last minute. So I hope that clears it up. It took me a while to get the difference between view and share, and it took me a while to understand that the Google account was essential. And then the only way around it was to make you know, something viewable. And you know, that's sometimes okay, but most of the time it isn't. So because then anybody on the internet can see it, and if you give them the rights to change things around, then that would be a problem. So sharing on a Google account, that's why they made it that way. You have to have a Google account. So you are picking somebody out of a list. You aren't saying anybody, I'm sharing this with everybody in the world. You're only sharing it with people that have a Gmail account. But you don't really need to use your Gmail account, because you can just access this and do everything and anything from here, and the rest of us are gonna see it. Okay, hope that helps. I'm sorry I talk so much, but it's just, I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I'm from New Jersey and we all talk too much. Okay, I hope that you're feeling better, and I will send you an email shortly and make sure that you know that I'm here to help you with the voter if you need me to.